everyone, Jennifer Maker here. It's a beautiful day to make something sweet together. Cute candy crafts for Christmas. Christmas and candy go hand in hand, even if you only indulge in a sweet here and there. In my family, our tradition is to fill our stockings with small gifts and candy, but lately I've been seeing new and fun ways to dress up the candy and turn it into a gift all by itself. So I've designed some fun candy crafts for you to make, such as my chocolate kiss Christmas tree made from just one sheet of cardstock, a little glue, and a bit of ribbon. Oh, and 9 Hershey's Kisses. Or how about my cute gnomes with round little bellies full of candy? You can make yours with a beard or with braids. I've also designed this Rudolph the candy-nosed reindeer, where its nose is either a red lollipop or a chocolate truffle. All of these can be hung from a tree, attached to a present, or just presented as is. Now, to make these candy crafts for Christmas, we need a good quality 65 to 80 pound cardstock, such as this American Crafts Christmas pack with all of the traditional colors. I also use this pack of glitter cardstock for a little extra sparkle. Links to these papers are available in my supply list at jennifermaker.com/350. In addition to the cardstock, you need a good tacky glue. I'm using the Barely Art Precision Glue because its tiny little applicator tip is perfect for applying just the right amount of glue. I love this stuff. And to make the gnome's candy-filled tummy, we will use a 3-inch clamshell ornament ball, the kind that comes apart in 2 halves like this. Each gnome needs just 1/2 of the ornament to fill with candy. And then of course you're going to want some candy. I used my favorite Hershey's Dark Chocolate Mint Kisses. These are so good. Brach's Christmas Nougats and a variety of other things. The trunk on the Chocolate Kiss Christmas tree is a peanut butter cup, but if you're giving these candy crafts as gifts and aren't sure about food allergies, you may want to use something like a Rolo instead. And of course, you can also attach ribbon to any of these if you like, whether it's just for decoration or to hang up onto a tree. Now, if you want to add a name or a year, as I've done with this one, you can cut a little cardstock or even some permanent vinyl and put it right into the candy craft to personalize it. I can't wait to give this one to Alexa. And of course, you need a way to cut your materials. You could use a pair of scissors or a craft knife, but the easiest way, hands down, is to use a Cricut cutting machine. And for that, we'll also want a clean and sticky green standard grit mat, the fine point blade that comes with your machine, a brayer, a scraper, and a weeding tool. You may also want a scoring tool or stylus, but it's entirely optional because I've given you some other ways to score these. The only other thing you need are the designs, and I'm sharing all of these designs that you see here with you freely. So let me show you where to find the free designs, and then we will make these cute candy crafts together. Step 1, get my free candy craft designs. Just go to my blog at jennifermaker.com/350 and look for libraries in the red bar at the top. Then either click Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. You can find the designs by searching the page for design number 350 and then click it to download a zip file with SVG files for cutting on a Cricut or another cutting machine, DXF files, and printable PDFs for cutting by hand. I want to show you how to cut these cute candy craft designs on a Cricut cutting machine. First, upload the SVG cut file to Cricut Design Space for the design that you want to cut. There are several in the file, and they're all named by the kind of design that they are. If you're unsure how to upload files, go to jennifermaker.com/svgs to learn how. So we're going to start with a Chocolate Kiss Christmas tree. There are 2 files for this project. One that's called Candy Christmas Tree Scores, and that one can be scored with a stylus or a tool. The other one is called Candy Christmas Tree Dashes, and that has preset dashed cut lines instead of score lines, and that one is ideal for beginners or anyone who wants to make these a little faster. They're faster and easier to fold. I'm uploading the dashed version of the Chocolate Kiss Christmas tree design to Cricut Design Space first. And you'll see these little dashes. Those are our simulated score lines. They will allow us to fold it without needing a scoring stylus. I have put these in for you. And we don't have to do anything at all. You just click make it. You don't even want to change the size because the size is intended, it's perfectly sized for Hershey's Kisses. So I guess if you're making this for something else, then maybe you would want to change the size. All right, so we can actually cut two, and I want to show you how to do this. First of all, to have two copies, if anyone doesn't know, you can go over here to Project Copies and change it to 2. So you just push that little up arrow right there, and then you click Apply. And it puts 2 copies. Now you'll notice it puts them on 2 mats, but it doesn't have to be on 2 mats. We should be able to get this. I think we can get this onto, well, we can at least try. So to consolidate your mats, you'll want to go to your mat and click the 3 dots in the upper corner and choose Move Object. And then we move it to the other mat that we want to put it onto and click Confirm. So now we should, on this mat, we should have 2 of these. Oh, we don't. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. It's there. All right, so we go back to our second mat and do the same thing. We're going to try to move it over. We're going to try to make it fit. I don't know if it'll fit, but it might fit. All right, so now we have everything on this mat, and it's right here. Okay, so let's see if we can first get these down here to fit. We might be able to rotate them. So I'm going to try rotating this. I'm going to hold down my Shift key as I use the rotate button. And it looks like I can do this at the very least. It's like a puzzle piece. Now the question is, can I get these two to fit? So they don't fit like this, but I actually really enjoy this part. I'm crazy, but I like to try to fit things so I can use less paper. So I just like to rotate them until I can get them into position. And oh my gosh, it's so close. Oh, that is close enough for me. Because these are just, these things at the sides here, they're just a little extra to give it more structure. So we've got, so even if there's a tiny little clipping there, I don't care. It's not important. So there we go. We've got 2 on 1 sheet. Isn't that amazing? How many else, does anyone else ever do this? Because it's like a puzzle, I swear. Like, how many can I get onto 1 sheet and like get them into just the right spot? Like, I think sometimes it's my favorite part of doing a project. Yes, Diana, you do the same thing. Colleen, awesome, yes. So this is a great way to not waste so many materials, or also just do projects faster because now you've got 2 instead of 1. All right, so I'm going to go back. I just had to pause for a second to appreciate the beauty of it. Okay, so here we are back on here. Now I really only want to cut 1 today so that we're not cutting for too long. So I'll show you something else. So I'm actually going to hide it for now. So I'm going to do hide selected. So I'm going to click those 3 boxes and do hide selected. And so we'll just cut 1. I just wanted to show you that. And hide selected. Okay. And I have hidden them, so they're still there. And if I need them again, I can bring them up. But for right now, this is fine. So this mat is empty now. It won't cut when I go to do the cutting. And here is my mat. And down here where it says hidden, that's where my hidden items are. So if I need to find them again, I can click on that and it'll come back and I can just choose what I want. All right, so this is a great way as you're doing a project to just get just what you want or speed up your work or anything like that. All right, so this is good. And I'm going to go ahead and click continue. Step 2, cut your cardstock. All right, so for this project, we're using medium cardstock. So I'm going to select that. And that is the right cardstock. This American Crafts, it is, I'm double checking. Let's actually take a look at this together because so many people get confused by this. Here's our American Crafts cardstock. And a good cardstock will tell you what the weight is. It's somewhere usually on the front or the back. So with AC cardstock, it says right here, can you see that? 80 pound. So this is 80 pound or 216 GSM for those of you not in the US. I know that they use this measurement in the UK and in Hong Kong and China. So, but we usually say the poundage. So this is 80 pound paper. You can also use 65 pound for this. What I don't recommend you do, by the way, is use foil poster board. I attempted it thinking, oh, that'll be so pretty. It's way too stiff. So it's also super hard to glue. So here it is. While it looks pretty, it took forever to glue, and the little part here came off the top. It's just not going to fold well enough. So for the Christmas tree, you want to stick with a 65 or 80 pound cardstock. All right, so 80 pound, all right? So back in Cricut Design Space, so we have the right material selected. If for any reason you don't see this Browse All Materials option that I had, and right here, if it doesn't come up, it just says, oh, you're using paper or using vinyl, you need to change your dial to custom, okay, so that you can see this. But I'm using medium cardstock. If you don't see this in your favorites list, you can just click Browse All Materials and go find it. And on my maker, it's under cardstock. I usually just search for it in the Search All Materials bar. But it's right here, and click Done. And then I always like to change my pressure to more because it just works better. You don't have to do that if you don't need to, but I just do it by default these days. Here's our mat. Be sure to take off the protective cover. If you're new, don't be embarrassed if the first time you tried to use your Cricut, you didn't realize you had to take off the cover. My daughter who's not new to the Cricut, but she was, when we first got the Joy, it was the insert card mat. She didn't take off the cover of the plastic, and she's like, why is it not cutting? I'm like, honey, you gotta take off the cover. It's not obvious if you've not done it before. So we just line it up to the top left corner and press it down, and then I'll use my brayer to make sure it's really well adhered to my mat. And that will help, especially with any intricate cuts. All right, and we're ready to put this into the maker and start cutting. Again, you can use the Explorer. You don't have to use the maker to do this. I'll close this though. And we're not scoring it. I mean, because we're using the dashed version, so I don't need to put in a scoring stylus. So that makes it nice and easy. So I'm just going to load it. And I've cleaned my blade, so we're good to go. And I'll press the flashing button to start. Before you unload it, it's a great idea to see if it cut through. So let's just do that right now. I'm going to take my spatula and I'm going to lift the corner here. You see that? Okay. And I'm going to see if it cut through. And as you can see, it did. So if it doesn't cut through, what you want to do is press it back down. Okay. And then press the C button. That's the middle button, not the flashing button. Press, and then on the Maker 3 and Explorer 3, it's an arrow. And on the Explorer Air 2 and the Maker, original Maker, it is a little C, a little logo. It's the middle button, the go button. You press that again, and it'll actually draw your project back into your Cricut and recut it in the exact same spot. Ours cut through, so we don't have to do that. But if you had an issue and it didn't cut, just press that middle button again, and it'll just suck it back in and recut it for you, okay? So here is our project, all cut, looking amazing. Now let me show you how to remove it from the mat. So set this over here. Let's replace this. I like to see what we're doing. So we're working on this project right here. Okay, so when we are ready to remove our paper from our mat, we want to flip it over onto our surface like this, and we're going to peel it away from our project. This is how we avoid curling our paper, ripping our paper, tearing our paper. Okay, this is important. I will always demonstrate it this way, and it's not just because of habit. It really makes a difference. So I'm literally peeling it away from my mat like this. And if I need to, I can take my spatula tool and I can help it, although I don't think I need to help it. But if you have little tiny pieces, then that can be useful. So I just, you can just do this though. Or you can just hold it. I like to kind of inch up as I'm doing it so that I always have a nice tight seal, and it's, it's not loose and flopping around right there. And it comes off the mat like a charm, and we have our project. So I will just let it all fall down here like this. Ta-da! And if we had little bits left over on our mat, which we don't with this one, what we'd want to do is take our extra large scraper tool and we just scrape it to get all the little bits off. Step 3, assemble your chocolate kiss Christmas tree. Let's talk about how to put this together. Let's begin with the box part, which is the triangle here. So again, I did the dashed line version. Can you see that? Here we go. You can see it better on this side. And there are two different sides to this American cardstock. There's one side that's pretty textured. Let me see, hold it up. Can you see the texture there? It's really pretty. And then there's one side that's smoother. See? So I'm going to use, that doesn't really matter. Sometimes it matters, for your project, but in this case, it doesn't really matter. All right, so this is so easy. So we're just going to fold on the dashed lines. So I'm going to fold like this. There's 1, 2, 3. See how easy this is? The dashed lines are really easy for folding. Okay, so it's all folded just like this. We also have to fold in these tabs here. There's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3, like this. Okay, the one with the 2 tabs here, this is the bottom. So we're going to begin by gluing the tab right here. And then we're going to put it into place and we're going to hold it, right? So we're just going to put it into place here. And I usually just hold it in between my fingers. So right now it's between my thumb and my middle finger right now. I'm just pressing it so that as the glue sets, it's touching. So that's important. If you've not spent a lot of time gluing, you don't just glue and then move on to the next one, and you don't just, assume that it's going to work. You can, of course, also press it against your surface like this, so you can see kind of. Here, let's move it up a little bit, maybe the camera. So you can see here, I'm just sort of pressing against it like that. And that's all it needs. At this point, it's good. If we were using, however, something like glitter or foil, it would not be good. You need to be pressing it for a lot longer, so keep that in mind. I know some of you will be tempted to use some pretty cardstock. So it's fine, but you need to understand that it's going to be harder to glue. So there's this one. And then to do the 3rd tab, we just glue this one here. It's pretty simple. This is not a difficult craft to do. It's nice and easy. All right, so now we have all of our tabs in, and now we just need to fold in the top. Now, you can put some glue on it, but you probably don't have to, right? So to fold it in, though, you have to kind of push a little bit because of the shape of the box. So you'll notice as it does this, it kind of bends out. It's okay, because once it's down there, it's going to be in place. So there's one. So you can glue these if you want, but hey, we're all busy and we have other things to do, so you can just do this. It works just fine like this. Just be sure to tuck in all of your bits, and you might want to just refold the edges here because there'll be a little extra pressure on them like this. There we go. You can see it kind of bends in the sides, but to be honest, that's actually a useful thing because it's going to help us keep our candy kisses in there too. So I like that it does this. All right, so there is our box. So now let me show you how to make these little shelves for your kisses. And we're gonna start with the top one, and that's this one here. So there's a dashed line here, here, and here. So this panel is a little larger. So we are going to just fold it into a triangle. Nice and easy, huh? And this is the top of our thing, and it goes like this, just like that. Right? And then we glue the bottom there. So we glue it closed. You'll notice how little glue I'm using. That is, in my opinion, the right way to do this. A lot of glue will introduce a lot of moisture to your cardstock and it will warp it, right? And that's why using the Brayer Art glue is so awesome, because of this precision tip. All right, so that's the first little shelf, and it goes right up here at the top. And when we're done, I'll put in the kisses. So we'll just set this out for now. All right, our second one is this, the medium-sized rectangle strip that looks like this. And again, we're just gonna fold it, but this time we're gonna fold it in a particular pattern so that it fits in there. And I'm gonna reference my other one. so that actually you can see it. So you can see here they form triangles and they're sort of opposite of one another like this. So I'm going to just match what I'm doing right here. So one down, another one like this. So there's our first triangle like this. And then we bend it the other way. So two folds going the opposite direction. And then we go back to the way that we were doing it like this. So we create a shape like this. And when we bring it together, it creates 3 triangles. Okay, so that's our third one. And then our fourth one is, I'm sure you can guess it's the same way. So we're going to do it the same way. So we're going to fold it like this, and then again, and then we reverse it for 2. And then we go back the other way. So basically it's 2 forward, 2 back sort of thing, like this. And then you can put it all together. If you make a mistake, no big deal. It's totally fine to just flip it around, flip your fold around. So let's see how we did. There we go. There are our triangles. All right, let's put everything together. So our top one goes right here. Our next one goes, and you can glue these in if you want. You don't have to. It'll work without gluing them in. But it'll probably look a little better because you won't have like this little flap here. It'll get glued to the side. And then put this in like this. Tuck everything in, make our triangles. Ta-da! These are perfectly sized for Hershey's Kisses. See, they tuck right in here. And it is really, you really want it to be that size because it helps keep them in too. Now, of course, you could wrap this in cellophane or something to keep, you know, if anything from falling out. But what I found is that once everything was in here, and like it fits so well that you don't need to do that. And of course, these go together really pretty quickly when you're not talking like I am. So you can make a bunch of these, and these would make such a fun gift. Everyone loves Hershey's Kisses, right? Everyone's got a favorite. That one doesn't want to go in. Sometimes they're a little misshapen, I've noticed. Like this one is a little bit wonky. There we go, I got it. And then one more right up here. There, isn't that cute? Now we can wrap it up in ribbon just like I've done here. Oh, I forgot to bring that ribbon, but I have another one here. You don't have to do this. You can just say, hey, here's some candy. But I think that the ribbon is really cute. All right, now to put on the trunk of the tree, it's so easy. It's just a peanut butter cup and some glue. And I'm gluing it right to the ribbon. And I just put the glue right up on here like this. I'm using a pretty decent amount of it. And I'm just setting it right on top. And you do want to press down on it for a while so it holds. And that is it. That is all there is to making this Kiss Christmas tree. Step 4, assemble your candy-filled gnomes. All right, here is our gnome. So there's Mr. Gnome, and here's Miss Gnome. So, or whatever genders you want to give to them, or none at all. So I just made 2 different ones. This one has a beard and this one has braids. That's the big difference. This one has bows. This one has a little heart. And then, oh, I forgot to put the snowflake on there, but there's also a snowflake in the file. So you can decorate them however you want to, right? However, whatever colors you want, it's completely up to you. So this goes together really well. I've already cut the pieces. So let me show you how that works. We need our white layer. And these are the colors that are in the file, so if that helps you. So first we have the white backing, and then we have the dark black, or in this case I'm using dark green. So there is his shoes, right? So there's his shoes. And then we have the next layer is brown. So here's brown, like this. And if you're ever in doubt about which colors go where, check your file and see what they look like. All right, so, and then the next layer is actually the ball. Okay, so these go on in an order. And when you cut the beard, actually that's not true. When you cut one of the others, some of these, they just come out, the circle comes out. So we use the back of the circle And we're going to glue that back here so that we can put our candy in without it all falling out. So this comes next. So it looks like this. You can always know which way because the curve of the hat is up here. Now, these arms should come in front of the ball. So it's like he's holding his tummy. You see that? So you can see how on mine, they're in the front, right? So he's holding it. He's holding his bowl full of jelly. And then he has little mittens. The mittens go right here. And I haven't glued anything. I always like to make sure I have all my pieces before I start gluing. And then I know what order I'm putting them in so that I don't make mistakes. I always recommend this with any layered project. Always check your layers. I think it goes like this. The little curved part goes at the corner, at the edge, like this. All right, and then his beard. Here's his beard. So that goes up here. Okay, everything in line. And his hat goes right here. Oh, isn't that cute? I like the glitter. That's pretty. And then I cut out the snowflake earlier, and the snowflake can go right here. And we can't forget his big red nose, which goes, and the red nose overlaps the hat a little bit. That's how I designed it, at least. So there's all of our layers. So now we just glue. So let me show you how to do that. Actually, let me layer the Miss Gnome one as well so you can see how that one goes. So first is our white layer. And then is our darker colored, so it could be black. I cut mine out as brown. And then is there's her shoes on the side. And then is this lighter brown color right here. And then is our ornament ball, which will go right here. Next layer is the pink layer, which goes there. That's also really pretty. And then her hair, which I made white, because I've noticed that gnomes have white hair. I don't know what's up with that. I think, are gnomes supposed to be like old? I don't know, actually. I don't know. I know gnomes are Scandinavian, and that's about as much as I know about that. And then there's her little hat. And she needs a nose, which goes there. And she also has mittens. So let's put her mittens on, make sure I have all of her things. There's her bows. So here is her little hat. And here is the little bow ties, little bows on her little braids or pigtails or whatever they are. I think they're supposed to be braids. That's what I was imagining when I made them, is that they were nice big braids. And this one goes like this. And so again, it's important that their hands are above the ball, because not only is that going to, does it look better because it's like they're holding their tummies, but it should allow you to set it on like a table or set it up, and the hands will help support it from falling over. That's the idea, at least. That's how I designed it. All right, so now let me show you how to put these together. So let's move her over here, and it will work on him. So we want to get these layers glued. So whenever I do a layered project, I like to flip over the layers I'm going to work with like this. And it's important that you glue the back of your layers. Don't assume you know where to put your glue on the front of your bottom layer. Instead, put your glue on the back of the layer that's going to go on top of it. So just a little glue. It does not have to be a lot. A lot will warp it. It's just a little bit like this. You can see I'm not using very much at all here. I do want to get it around that hole there though. And then we flip it over onto our white backing like this. And you want to get everything lined up to the best of your abilities. It might be easier to like sort of tap it on your table to make sure that the bottom is nice and straight there. You know, and when it's wet, you can slide it a little bit like that. You see how it was still wet, so you can slide it into position. There we go. It's a little bit off. It's fine. All right, and then we're going to do the back of this layer here. Gnomes are actually kind of evil if you look it up. Oh my goodness. Are all gnomes evil? I remember I did look it up when I was making my gnomes. Was it last year? I made these really cute little gnomes. Oh, I see we forgot to poke out the little hole there. I have a whole tutorial on how to make gnomes, like with socks. And I remember I looked them up then. But I've now forgotten everything I knew about gnomes. I really like gnomes. I just don't remember the stories anymore. All right. So there's our brown layer, and let's take our weeding tool and poke out the hole at the top. We want to make sure that we're preserving this hole here. So I'm just poking a little bit there so we can get that out. This was just stuck in there. I wasn't putting the hole in there. I was just removing the little circle. All right, so now we need to do our candy. So to fill our candy, I'm just going to put the candy in here. Now again, it doesn't have to be candy if you don't want it to be. It can certainly be something else, but I'm going to use some candy. And I guess I'm going to use some different ones than the one I had before. Now I have noticed that, let me see if I have the ball candy here. I have a bunch of candy, but not all of it. I left some candy at my house. All right, I guess I don't. I only have these big ones. Maybe I'll use these silver ones. Here's my candy bowl. I got this candy dish from Dollar Tree. I thought it was pretty cool. It looks like a shape of candy, So I'm going to put these silver ones in here. Oh, here's some little ball ones. The smaller ones seemed like to fill it in better. So if you're going for aesthetics, then you might like that better. Like these little ball ones here. Let's just give him all silver. Do I have any more silver? Any more silver candies? I don't see any more. Oh, here's some more. But the smaller they are, like, so if you were using, let's say, M&Ms, they would fill in really well. You don't want to overfill it because it'll be hard to glue. This should be okay, though. All right. And again, as someone pointed out, be careful of candy allergies, right? Or, sorry, food allergies, not candy allergies. If you're giving this to someone that you don't know, their status, don't take any chances with that. So there we go. And then I'll fill in with these little balls there. So now we want to glue it before we put it in, because you can do it like this if you want, but it's tricky, right? And you can't see what you're doing. You'd have to flip it over like this and get it into position. It might be a little messy. So I am going to just take one of the circles that we cut before, and I am going to put glue around the edge like this. Now this will dry clear, so don't worry if it looks kind of messy in the beginning. And hot glue would definitely be easier and faster to use here. Let's see. That seems like quite a bit. Again, we want to do it like this though, so that we are getting, and you don't want any parts sticking up, because that will make the seal harder to form. There. All right, let's let that dry. Let's see how we're doing here. All right, this looks like it's, is this good? This is good. All right, so now we're going to put our circle right into position. So I'm just gonna glue the back of this. Now this will give us 2 layers. So if you wanna make it easier to get into, you may always wanna glue this right to here. It's just gonna be a little trickier, right? But you can totally do it. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put glue here. And bring this over just in case there's any part. I'm going to use my spatula. There we go. And glue that right there and slide it into position. Now before the glue sets, I'm going to take my red layer and make sure that it looks good. And that does. That looks perfect. Oh, candy's escaping. All right. So we now have our candy ball in there. Let's put this away. And it is time to finish doing our layers. So again, I'm going to do the back, I'm going to put glue on the back of the layer because, I don't know. Now, I'm not going to put glue on all the way down to the hands. I'm going to put glue back down to his elbow like this. Like this. And then put it into position like this. And that'll allow it to be stable enough, but we don't do his hands because the hands, I probably need a little extra at the little parts where his beard is going to be. I want that to be down there pretty well. I want that to be well adhered here. And his hands, they stick up and they're supposed to. Okay, so that's clear. And just press that down like this. It's okay if it's not perfectly aligned. And we hold it in place while the glue sets. Any questions for me right now? You guys are sharing the link. I recommend that you find the supply list because I update it. I keep our supply list up to date. So when we see something go out of stock, we go find an alternative. So use our supply lists. It makes a difference. And then also you can click on them to go right where you want to be. All right, so there we go. That's our next layer. All right, then we have his beard is essentially what this is here. So again, we're going to glue the back like this. And I recommend getting right around the little hang hole there at the top. And you want to get glue into all the spots. And then that goes right on top like this. And position it in place. And when it looks good, you can press down on it. There we go. That looks great. Put on the hat layer. Alrighty, and then again, we're just going to put glue all the way around here like this. Just like that. She's all messed up. I need to fix her. She's just sitting there. It's all messy. All right, so that's good. Line up that hole there. And it looks like it just needs to come over a little bit right here. That looks good. Here's his little candies. All right, now we just need to put on his mittens and his his little elbow patches. There, and the nose overlaps the hat just a little bit. The idea is that his nose is so big that it takes up a lot of the space there. Let me turn that a little bit to make sure I'm getting it in the right spot. Just at the top of the ball there, and let's press it down. Oh, and a snowflake. Thank you. What would I do without all of you? And then, so this snowflake, this is what it looks like. It's a little, and doesn't really have a side. It's the same. So make sure this is pressed down. Okay, so this is where having the precision tip is so useful because it's so little. And I can just get each one of these little arms on the snowflake without a problem. There. And then we'll put it right here on his little hat. There we go. Isn't he cute? So cute. Do you like him? I think he's really cute. And then, I don't know if you can see, but he stands up by himself. Ta-da! Isn't he cute? So that's how we put together the gnome. Miss Gnome goes together the same way. She just has bows and a little heart on her hat. And here's Miss Gnome right here. Right? So here's 3 of them all together. And here's the ribbon hanging. There's the ribbon hanging on this one. So that's how you make them. They're really pretty easy. The hardest part is probably just cutting all the layers. So if you want to like reduce some layers, feel free. But the layers help it be sturdy, right? So we are putting candy in here. This is not insignificant. I don't know how much it weighs, but I mean, there's like a dozen little chocolate balls in here. So there is weight to this. So having the extra layers of cardstock definitely helps it be a sturdier thing to support it. So that's how you make that. Step 5, assemble your Rudolph the Candy Nose Reindeer. This is the version that's just got a truffle, a chocolate truffle in there, or whatever you want to put, just needs to fit there. You'll notice it's not like this, you can kind of see some air in there, but because of the nature of it, it still holds it in place. So, and then, or you can do like a red lollipop, right? Either way, maybe, you know, I actually really like lollipops. So, you know, some people love them, not everyone does, but I love how versatile it is. And by the way, if you like these designs, there are lots and lots of other ones out there for you to use that other people have designed. So here are the pieces we need for this project. Let's put these all up here. So I actually have two variations in the file. One variation is like this, and here is, it's 2 layers. So it's got a front and a back. This part, the front and back is the same, right? There's 2 pieces here. They fold up, but there is the eyes and the antlers and ears are on a different layer like this, just to give it a little different look. And then, because I know that some of you might want to make a whole lot of these, and just 2 layers is going to be a lot of work, I also made a version that is just 1 layer. And so you could do whatever color you want. We need to poke out the little smile here, because that is cut out. If you don't want the smile, I guess you don't have to poke it out, but I like it. I thought it was cute. And then you can just use your weeding tool to do that if you've not ever done that before. So use whichever one you want, mix up the colors, have fun, your choice. So I'm going to show you how to put together this layered version, okay? So it's really easy, and I'll use one of my truffles for this. But the lollipop stem, actually, it goes, just so you know, it actually goes in right here. And then it just, you know, you just put that in here. And this one is a little tight. It's kind of thick there. And then it just goes right up here into it. All right. So this is super easy, I'm sure, because I feel like you're going to want to make more of these. So I made this one easy. Oh, his little eyebrows need to come out too. This might have been cut when I was having some cutting issues before I fixed it. Well, it's all coming out. So the little parts like this might need a little extra help. And that's what we use the weeding tool for. And then one more eyebrow right here. Okay. So again, we want to put it on the back of our, whatever we're layering, we put our glue on the back. So we're just going to fill that all in like this. And we're going to go around the eyes like this. And, you know, we don't go necessarily right up to the edges, kind of just getting it like this. You can see how well this precision tip does. It's just so much easier. And then here, like this. So you don't have to probably be quite as careful as I am. But if you're going to hang it, make sure you get glue above the hole too. And if you are hanging it or putting a string on it, the 2 layers will make it stronger. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's get it into position before we press down to make sure we have it right. Match up the hole right here. There's something on the back of this. Oh, I know, it's that little piece of paper there. Let's just take that off so it's not poking up. There we go. All right, so we just put it into position, matching up the curve of the head and the hole. And when it looks good, you just press it down, just like this. And then this is so easy. And then you just fold it, and there's no score or anything. You just fold it in half. There's no reason to put a little extra one there. So now you have your choice about how you want to, what kind of candy in it. So if you want a lollipop, it goes right into the hole and the ball sticks out through his nose. And if you want the chocolate truffle, you just put that here like this. And then you could just tie it and be done with it, but you can also glue it. I'm going to glue it because I think it'll look better. So to glue it, we are just going to put glue on the top. So where his antlers are, or her, oh, male deers have antlers, right? So this is a boy. So the bow needs to be at the top half of his head like this. And then we press it down like this, and we line up the antlers before we set it into place by holding it like this. And that's it. So super easy. You can make a whole bunch of these really easily. Hang them on the tree, put them as tags on presents, have fun. If you want to add names to them, you could use this version, but instead of having this one with the eyes be the top of it, you could have this side without it, and you could write a name right here, and it would be really cute. Does anyone have any questions about, oh, male and female reindeer both have antlers. Thank you, Tammy. I don't know that much about reindeer. Thank you. It's funny, you'll tell me this, and then it'll be next year we'll be talking about reindeer, and I'll have already forgotten. That is how it works with me. So there we go. And then if you want to hang it, you just put a string right there, and that's it. You're done. And those are our reindeer. Such a super easy craft. And that's all 3 of our projects. So our gnome is right here, and our Christmas tree is right here. Aren't they cute? Thank you for crafting along with me today. These were so fun to make, and I can't wait to show Alexa her sweet little candy gnome. I know she's going to love it. She may be a teenager, but she's going to love this candy gnome. If you have any questions about making these candy crafts for Christmas, leave your question below this video or ask over in my awesome craft group at jennifermaker.com/CricutCrafters. And that's it for today. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.